Hello, everybody. It is Trusty's Vintage Live Sale, going live a couple minutes early tonight. See who's signed in. Got Katie from Vintage and Vinyl is here. Got Lisa from Fab Finds Fairy. Great to have you. Karen Radford, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Elderly Poodle, thanks you for joining back into the live sale. Hadn't seen you in a couple of weeks. Hope everything's well. You're definitely in California, because I know I've had problems shipping to you. But appreciate everyone joining in tonight. So I've got the Huckster handler is with me again this evening, and she's struggling with her phone, with her video. Hold on. Oh, you need to open in the app, the YouTube app. Sorry, she tried to open it as URL, so she didn't have the live chat. So that is not very helpful in helping the live sale. So we got Karen from Michigan, Helen Casey, who just shared a photo of her grandson playing with all of the Hot Wheels that she picked up from one of my sales previously. And to Christy, also representing the West Coast. Hope you guys are safe. And the smoke and fires are far enough away from you that you can enjoy a lovely evening at a live sale. Vinny is here. Just watched Vinny's video with Cindy from Mimi's Treasure Cottage of them thrifting in Maryland. So great to see Vinny behind the scenes in his board shorts and flip-flops and his mask that didn't cover his nose. Don't think I didn't notice that, Vinny. So we all have our struggles. Linda from Vermont, you might be a new name for me. Apologize, Linda, if you've joined us before and I've missed you, but thanks for coming in from Vermont. Mary Jo, another name that might be new this evening. So thank you so much for joining on that. Carrie is back from Austin. So excellent, having some Texas represented. So we got Katie's from the South too. She's at least in Florida, but Carrie's in Texas. Got another Marylander, Dawn, the head of Just One More Dachshund Rescues, with us this evening. She must have gotten out of her, she's become addicted to live auctions or online auctions. So she must have gotten out of her auction early. So welcome, Dawn. Glad you can make it. Mid-Century Wasted, thanks, Jamie, for joining us. Hopefully you are safe as well. Okay, that's just depressing. The submarine ride is now Finding Nemo at Disneyland. Well, I guess I think the one in Disney World shut down. It had been 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea when I was a kid, but it was always broken. Huckster Handler just said that it was it's Beauty and the Beast space now, so they don't even have Under the Sea anymore. But Finding Nemo was, I want to say Finding Nemo was represented in something in Disney World. Was it something in Epcot maybe? Oh, the Living Seas. There was like a little video and there was a bunch of stuff for Nemo there. But that ride was it wasn't even a ride. That was kind of boring. So Tammy from Oklahoma. That's our second Oklahoma, because I want to say definitely saw Laura Bimo. She's also from Oklahoma. So we've got some multiple representation from Oklahoma. Randy is joining us. Pete is joining us. Thanks for both of you coming back. Carolina Lady, thanks so much for joining us. A couple of you I know were supporting Tania at Hemlock Lady, did her first live sale today. So if you missed out on that, make sure you're following her channel and watch for her next one. I'll be making some announcements coming up pretty soon. In October, it is actually my 1-year anniversary of my resale business, not of YouTube, just of the resale business. So there's a couple things going on for that. One, if you haven't already seen it, look in my YouTube channel. I have issued my first collaboration / challenge, and it is a vintage first challenge. And anyone can participate, even if you don't have a YouTube channel. I'll have a Instagram portion of that as well. And it's basically just do a short video or a photo of vintage first, however you want to define it. The first item you collected in maybe one of your collections. If you're a reseller, maybe the first item that you sold, you can talk about it. Obviously, you won't have it anymore. First item you bought from a live sale might be kind of fun. So you can take a couple of definitions. Anything of the first. There is a playlist that is going live on October 1st at 1 p.m. Eastern. So you can post your video on there or start using the hashtag Trusty's Vintage Firsts on Instagram and post everything for October 1st. But I was talking about Tania at Hemlock Lady Mercantile. I'm doing in honor of my 1-year anniversary. As you know, I do group sales, the 4-seller, 1-sale vintage events once a month normally. Since the very first month I started doing live sales, I've had a 4S, 1S event. In the month of October, I am going to have 5 4S, 1S events every Thursday. There happen to be 5 Thursdays in October. Every Thursday will be a multi-seller event. So if you like that format, if you like seeing things from multiple people, definitely want to tune in throughout the month of October. Same time, it'll always be Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. But Tania is one of the resellers. She is on the last sale on October 29th. But you can catch her sales before then. Michelle of Comfy Cozy Living has joined us. She co-hosted the Comfy Trusty meetup with me a few weeks ago now. So thanks for joining us, Michelle. Sorry I missed your sale today. My job is getting more active and getting harder during the day to actually catch a lot of sales. I caught Michael Todd did a live video and I caught like 5 minutes of that because I got an alert on my phone from Instagram. So Michael Todd did probably on his Instagram channel. But a lot of different options are available throughout the day and evening. And if you like the live sales, if you're new, welcome. Most of the names, even some of the people that are new to my channel, you've probably been on some other channels. Another new name I've got, we have a Suzanne McLean who's here regularly, but Shelly McLean seems to be a new one. If you are new to the live sale events, just a really quick rundown. What I'll be doing tonight, tonight's happens to have a theme. So I am doing a Disney theme for my live sale tonight. But the way all the sales work pretty much across most of the channels, I will show an item, I will describe it, I will give you the price of it, and then I will announce its number. You need to be the first person to claim or type that number into the live chat. So make sure you're in the chat, not the comments. And it's better to be in the live chat than the top chat so you get better representation of what's going on. If you are the first name that we see on our end, so I am being helped by the Huckster handler, so she will be watching the chat. The first person she sees, she will let me know and I will announce the winner. Prices do not include shipping. So what you'll need to do is send me an email to the email address that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Some point tonight or maybe by the end of the day tomorrow, please, giving me your shipping address so I can get you an invoice with calculated shipping, combining anything you bought into one package and sending you one invoice for your items plus shipping. So relatively simple. Any events that I'm doing are always going to be individual first to claim items. I don't do auctions or bidding or highest offer or offer up or any of those types of things. These are always just going to be first to claim. So if you refresh YouTube on occasion, it'll give you a better chance of not falling behind. If at any point you see people claiming numbers before you hear me say them out loud, you're buffering. You may not think you are, but you are. So you need to refresh your screen. And so that will give you, even if you have a slow internet, if you consistently refresh your screen, you will have it almost as good of a chance as even Shirley Pearl with the fastest internet. Shirley doesn't come onto my sales very often. I haven't seen her yet tonight. So, but there's several people who try and claim her seat. But that's the way it works. So tonight's, again, a themed sale. Tried to broaden as best I could while still staying into the Disney theme. But for those of you who've watched my shows before, you know, when I have a theme sale, that means I also have the return of Trusty's bargain bin. So at the end of the evening, after the regular sale is over, I'll pull out the bargain bin, in which case every item within the bargain bin is $2. So again, first one to claim will get it. You just don't have to wait for the price for all of those. So we go through that a little bit faster. I've got several moderators are on the books tonight. So I appreciate your assistance watching for any inappropriate activity. Everyone remember, this is a family channel. May not have kids watching, but want to have them have the ability to watch it. So watch your language, watch what you're talking about, and we're all here to have fun. So go ahead and get things started. So the first item I've got is getting into the Disney books. So I've got quite a few books that I picked up for my vintage booth that I've just set up. I have a section of it for children's books, and they're doing very well for me, but I went ahead and pulled out all the Disney related books so I could offer them here. So this first item that I'm offering is a pair of books, and it is, there are two Winnie the Pooh books. So you've got Winnie the Pooh, Somebody's Treasure, and Winnie the Pooh One Special Tree. When I was trying to figure out, some history on these, first editions, all that kind of stuff, what jumped out was on the back is these are, for those of you, I'm not sure how far Kohl's spreads, it's probably nationwide, but for those of you who are familiar with Kohl's, both of these were the books that you could get. Typically I think they're at Christmas time, where they've got the Kohl's Cares for Kids. So with donations, you could get, stuffed animals, whatever. So one year they must have had a Disney theme. So this is a pair of Disney Winnie the Pooh books. Both of them have the Kohl's Cares for Kids label. It's not really a label. It's embedded into it's not a sticker. It's embedded as part of the cover. They're in absolutely perfect condition. The corners are not bent. None of the pages are torn. The spines are tight, and the dust jackets are not torn. So you get both of these for $5. You get the pair for only $5 by giving me number 51. $5 for the pair of Winnie the Pooh books. All right. Next item I've got is a tray. So this is a vintage serving tray. It is a Walt Disney World Florida tray. There's no markings or anything. It's just black all on the back. You've got it's a solid circular rim, but then you can kind of see the way the paint is done. You've got like the scallopy, trim, but the edge itself is actually just a perfect round. So you've got, this is in great condition. The gold is in great condition all the way around. And yes, Carrie, I did just get a haircut today. So thank you so much for noticing. So you've got Florida, highlighting other things within Florida. So you've got Pensacola, you've got Cape Kennedy, you've got the Seaquarium in Miami. So you've got a variety. And then there's kind of like this little pull out over to the side with Donald Duck, King, is it Louis? Louis, was that either orangutan from, can't remember what that's from. Winnie the Pooh, Chip and Dale, Goofy, and Mickey. So you've got a lot of the characters are all set up on here. It's in great condition. It's a great vintage tray. It is available for $12, and you can have it for number 21. $12, number 21. Did we have any takers on the books?
No, but
okay.
Somebody just put 31, but there hasn't been.
All right, so I've got.
Retracted.
All right, so Blue Flamingo, you asked for 31, but then you retracted it. Were you going for 21?
Yeah.
So
it's like way further.
all good. So number 21 goes to Blue Flamingo Mercantile. So thank you very much, Lori, for picking that up. All right, the next item is a travel cup. It is Goofy. It's Grumpy. So you've got one of the 7 dwarfs. So you got Grumpy holding his morning coffee, and on the back, I hate mornings. So this is a licensed travel cup. It says on the bottom, it has the logo for, what did it say? Remember, I pulled it up earlier. It's an original something original, Disney parks, authentic original Disney parks. So it's got the little label in the middle that is the Disney castle in the middle. And then not dishwasher safe goes around the edge. So age-wise, this is probably something that was available in the parks probably more recently. I doubt this is moving into vintage. It's got the high-quality plastic on the top with the slide for being open and closed. But what is unique about this one, the reason it's not dishwasher safe, is you can actually see there's like this vinyl covering that has been stitched into place into the mug. The mug itself is green, and then the vinyl on the background for the grumpy piece is also a green diamond pattern. So it's a black top, black rubberized bottom to keep it from slipping a little bit, and then the greenish body with grumpy. So the grumpy travel mug that says "I hate mornings" is $10, and that's available at bid number 14. $10, number 14 for the grumpy travel mug. So one of the items that I picked up when I was planning for this sale, I was just really on the lookout for anything that was Disney. And I really wanted to lean toward Disney vintage, which is sometimes hard to find. So I was really excited when I found this, although when I found it, I wasn't 100% sure what it was. Did we have a taker on the Disney mug? So Randy Heilman also hates mornings. So congratulations, Randy, for picking up the grumpy I hate morning mug. So this is a little, you can kind of see the graphics. It's this little cardboard box. It says Walt Disney's Scamp cartoon strip. It is copyrighted Walt Disney Productions. So one time I'd asked George about that. So that predates this. He said productions ended in 1985. So this is from earlier than that. And I'd say based on those graphics, it's definitely earlier 70s, if not 60s. It's the same graphic on all four sides. On the ends, it's actually open. So I'm not sure how this was originally sold or what this was originally intended to do. But as the cardboard shows, it is the Scamp cartoon strip. So you can take this out of the box. And again, it's a box, but it doesn't have a top or a bottom. It's a sleeve. You take this out, and you've got a paper comic strip that's kind of curled up for Scamp. So the whole thing ends up being 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 slides. But it's just paper. It's like kind of like set up like a film strip, but it's not see-through. It's just paper. So it's just kind of a cool. It's a character that admittedly I'm not familiar with, so I'm not sure if Scamp was from something. If it's from one of the like Lady in the Tramp, or I'm not really sure. So it's just kind of a really, if you like Disney and you're creating like a little vignette or a little shadow box or something, showcasing a bunch of antique Disney, vintage Disney pieces, this will make a really cool addition, and it'll make an addition for only $4. So $4 for the little Disney Scamp comic strip for number 55. $4 for Disney Scamp. All right. Get this out of the way because it keeps wanting to knock to the floor. So I'm going to go grab this out of the way. Do we have a taker on the Disney Scamp?
Yeah.
So Vintage Roots Collections gets the Disney Scamp comic strip. So thank you for picking that up, Lorianne. All right. So the next item, had to do a little bit of digging on this because I wasn't 100% sure what it was. Clearly, it's a tote bag. Very nice size tote bag. Got the zipper across the top. Obviously, it's for Aladdin, but the way it's done is it says it's Disney's Aladdin. So I had a hunch what this was from and opened up. I found the label on the inside, and according to the inside, the copyright for that logo is Disney Theatrical Group. So the expectation or my assumption at this point is that this would have been a tote bag that they would have given if you saw the Broadway show whether you saw it on Broadway or if you saw it in one of the touring companies or on a cruise ship or whatever, that they did the licensed version of Disney Aladdin. So had the licensed version of the tote bag. And because it's a licensed Disney tote bag, it probably originally cost a fortune. But right now it's still in absolutely excellent condition. It's got a decent sized gusset on the bottom. So you've got a little bit, it can actually hold quite a bit. You can see it's got a wide bottom. The zipper does go all the way across the top and it gets extended off of the top. So it's actually a pretty nicely made piece. So you've got the Disney Aladdin black tote bag with the gold. And it does have a pocket on the front, but nothing on the back. So you've got Disney's Aladdin, one of the best villains ever in Jafar. You can have the tote bag for $6. $6 for the Aladdin tote bag by giving me number 40. Number 40, $6 for the Aladdin tote bag. Hey, Kelly, thanks for joining us. Hey, little vintage me. All right. Stick with my textiles because they keep wanting to fall onto the floor. Do we have a taker for the tote bag? So BMOS Mercantile, Laura BMOS is taking home the Aladdin tote bag. So thank you for picking that up. The next item is drifting into Christmas. I may have another holiday sale in November. I'm thinking about doing like an all holiday sale, and I have some Christmas. I'll have some like random holiday stuff. Always trying to look for a new theme. But this one got pulled out of that stack specifically to come into my Disney sale. This, I would say, it probably was made afterwards, but my cousins were born in the late 80s, early 90s, like 1989, I think. They had these stockings when they were little. They may have been made for much longer after that, but this happens to be the mini stocking. You can see it's dimensional. The bow comes off, it comes off a little bit. The ear actually extends past the edge of the stocking. It is a very, very dark green velvet. You can kind of tell in the color there a little bit. And then you've got the red velvet at the top. It still has its hook to hang it. So it's in absolutely perfect condition. It's just a big, oversized, overstuffed, there's fur on the cuffs, Minnie Mouse stocking. And the stocking is available for $8. So $8 for the Minnie Mouse stocking, $8, number 15. $8 for the Minnie Mouse stocking. I don't know if Stacy, I don't know if Elle's gonna be too happy about you telling stories about her, since she tends to be in these chats sometimes too. So I'm glad to hear that Elle liked to dress as Minnie a lot. But I think a lot of little girls did. All right. So do we have a taker on the mini stocking? Blue Flamingo Mercantile picks up the mini stocking. So thanks again, Lori. I don't have, like I said, I had a couple of textiles, consider that more textile. I didn't really come across a lot of stuffed animals except for this one. So this is a little stuffed Winnie the Pooh animal. It is, I'm not even sure how to describe him. So he's got, I don't know if you can hear it. Yeah, I probably can't hear it, but he's kind of stuffed with the bean bags type material. So he's got loose bean bag material or, stuffing kind of in his butt, but he really doesn't have a lot of stuffing up in his neck, and his head is just stuffed. So like he does sit like a bean bag. So I think that's why he's stuffed that way. But I don't know, like in some cases, bean bags, it gets crushed down. It's really just the stuffing kind of sitting down at the bottom. So you can see he kind of gets squishy when he sits down. I don't know if that's the way he was designed. I don't know if he got, overly loved. I don't think he was overly loved because the tags are still in pristine condition. Like they didn't come off. They're not wadded up. They're not stained. So I think this was just a shelf sitter, probably, somebody's computer desk or whatever. It's just a simple little Winnie the Pooh stuffed animal. Relatively modern. It has definitely got the Walt Disney tag to it. Says Walt Disney right on the tag, but it also has the European Union safety tag on it. So again, so it's not like super, super old, but it's Winnie the Pooh, and you can't go wrong with Winnie the Pooh, particularly when he's only $5. So $5 for the little squishy bottom Winnie the Pooh by giving me number one. Number one, $5 for the little Winnie the Pooh. So Katie's talking about she would bring maps and things to the Mickey on the park. So you were a Mickey gal. Not sure what you mean by bringing the maps and things. When my daughter went to Disney for the first time, there was a big thing about the autograph books. And I don't remember that really being a thing when I went there as a kid, but I don't remember. I certainly don't have an autograph book, but her big thing, she needed to get that autograph book, and we needed to stand in all of those lines with the big oversized pen so that their big paws could try and sign it. And we had some really cute pictures with her, going through with each of the characters, but it did make for a totally different experience than when I was a kid. Lori says her daughter's nursery was Winnie the Pooh. My daughter's nursery, the Huckster Helper, was also Winnie the Pooh as well. And it was, 1999 was when she was born. So we did all contemporary stuff, but at that time, the look was the vintage Pooh. So she had all kinds of pieces, and many of which I still have that are not being sold in this sale because I'm keeping them, that are also the vintage Winnie the Pooh. And I agree, Stacy, the Meet the Characters breakfast, those were fun. And we did a couple of those with Amelia. I hate to say it, either they weren't popular or my parents were too cheap to pay for them. I don't remember ever doing them when I was a kid. But my daughter definitely enjoyed them. And we got, again, you get some up close and personal. I got to meet Chip and Dale. So, okay. So on one of my daughter's first trips, so I'm not selling anything from her baby nursery, but I am selling a little bit of a reminiscent from her. On her first trip to Disney, we did Splash Mountain, and that became kind of our family's favorite ride. We did it multiple times, and I did, you can't go wrong in the middle of summer Orlando heat and humidity, getting on basically a log ride and where you get wet. So as this would have been done in 2004. So the frame's not quite hitting true vintage definition, but you've got some age to this. This is one of those cases where when they took the picture as you went down the ride. And then of course, if you wanted the picture, you couldn't get the picture without getting the cool frame that went with it. So I'm keeping the picture, but I'm selling the frame. So you've got you're going down with the buzzards that are watching you as you start going down the biggest drop. And it does say Splash Mountain. Given its age, but no surprise because we owned it. It's in perfect condition. None of the waves, none of the pieces that protrude are snapped off or broken. It's in absolutely perfect condition. And like I said, I keep the picture, but you can get the frame, and you can get the frame for $7. So $7 for giving me number 38. Number 38, $7 for the Splash Mountain frame. Okay, and thank you so much, Stacy, for sharing. The Small World is now going to be in all of our heads. So congratulations on annoying all of us simultaneously. But yes, so you don't really get wet in the Small World. They get upset if you take your hands outside of the ride. All right, moving on to something non-textile and non-plastic, I guess. We're moving into some drinkware. Did we have any takers on the frame?
Yeah, the niche.
Who did?
The niche.
Oh, the niche lady. Welcome back. Glad you're picking that up. And I think there's a Splash Mountain in both California, or I guess you're in Las Vegas, but pretty sure Splash Mountain exists in both Disneyland and Disney World, if I'm not mistaken. We were at the one in Disney World, but the frame is for either. Okay, the next piece is one of those characters that when I was a kid, I always said that the Mickey Fantasia was my favorite Mickey. I have no idea why I thought that, because when I finally watched the Fantasia movie, it was boring as hell. So there's just this one little sequence within Fantasia that's very different than everything else. Although I do like Night on Bald Mountain. I guess I'm assuming there must have been like clips, or maybe he did a little breakout series when I was a kid. But the Sorcerer Mickey became famous on his own, And I don't think everyone knew that he came from Fantasia. And so this is just one of those pieces where they tried to make him famous, you know, on his own. So this is a Walt Disney World a licensed piece that is actually made in Japan. So you have some age for this. And this one, what I found interesting, because I don't know at all points when they did this, this one is actually licensed for both Disneyland and Walt Disney World. So I didn't realize they did that. Like they might have, I don't know if that means that some things only got licensed for one and not the other, but I guess because this doesn't have any rides on it or nothing to do, you know, nothing to distinct, it make it distinct from one to the other. They just licensed it and stamped it to have both. So you've got a made in Japan vintage mug with the Sorcerer Mickey on there from Fantasia with dancing brooms, cleaning brooms. It is in perfect condition, no chips, no cracks. There's a blue, you can kind of see that blue color that runs around the rim. That's paint's all in good condition. Standard size handle, probably 10 ounces, I would guess. And you can have the Fantasia Mickey Sorcerer mug for $9 by giving me number 31. $9, number 31 for the Fantasia Sorcerer Mickey mug. All right. If you watched my haul video that I posted earlier in the week, you actually got a sneak peek of something that at that time I wasn't 100% sure I was going to include. But as I started piecing things together, I discovered that I didn't have as many Disney items as I thought I did. So I decided to go ahead and move this item off of my eBay pile, and it came into the live sale. Did we have a taker on the Fantasia mug?
Yeah, the same one.
Niche Lady picked up Fantasia mug too. Okay, so welcome. I'm glad you're getting your Disney fix. All right, so if you saw that, and if you've seen past videos that I've done, Hercules is actually my favorite Disney movie. And I actually found a Lava Titan action figure from Hercules. I did not know such a thing even existed, but evidently it existed in an entire series. So they didn't do all of the Titans, but they had the Rock Titan, the Lava Titan. So they didn't do the Tornado Titan. But they picked some random characters from in here. So you had a couple of villains, like Nessus was, you know, basically on screen for about 10 seconds. Hydra had a pivotal scene, but again, was only in one scene. So some of the characters they decided to commemorate were oddly chosen. But it turns out that because this is not a major character, it wasn't nearly as collectible as some of the others. And some of the prices for some of these pieces were going pretty high, which is why this was originally dedicated to my eBay pile. But that's okay. Decided to sell it here, and I'm still going to give you a good price. There's currently one of these listed on eBay right now for $40, which is insane, but that's what they're trying for. The most recent one sold for $17. Most of the time they were selling in the $15 to $20 range. So, you know, I could try and get a higher price if I just let it sit on eBay for a while. Decided to let you guys take advantage of this, and you can get it for $11. So $11 for the Lava Titan action figure. They give me number 29. $11 for the Lava Titan. So we got Terry Ann from Eclectics, Terry Ann's Eclectics, this and that, is commenting on Disneyland, saying that it catered to the more the local populace. And I don't know if that's still the case. I know they did the California, but my background with Disneyland, I went there when I was in 8th grade. And I remember that because it was a specific trip to go see my brother graduate from the Marines in San Diego. And the week or two before we got there, he was kicked out. So, you know, little side commentary. But we did the trip to California anyway, and we did kind of like a stop in Anaheim, and it just didn't feel nearly as special as going to Disney World. Because when you did Disney World, like back in those days in the 70s and 80s, you know, you planned for it, you saved up for it, you got the books, this was like, oh, hey, look, it's Disneyland, let's go. And it didn't seem to be as big of a deal. I think it was in its original day, and then Disney World kind of took away some of its thunder. But I went there much later as an adult, and I saw the California Adventureland, and it seems like that's now become, like, it's trying to be the West Coast version of Disney World. So I would, niche lady saying her brother worked at Disneyland for 40 years. I can't imagine that would be a fun job ever. Like, I just don't like kids enough or at all to be able to be surrounded by that, even though you're kind of happy. I remember going to Disney multiple times when I was a kid, and we were always so stressed out when we got, because we'd have to get there and we'd have to stand in line because we were going to be the first ones in, and then we'd stay until it closed. You were just exhausted. Like, you need a vacation by the time you came back from your vacation. So anyway, but hey, takes all kinds, and kudos to the Disneyland and Disney World workers. Did we have any takers on the Lava Titan?
No.
Okay, nobody wanted the Lava Titan. I may just keep him. All right. Next item. This is again an area of the booth. I'm doing it at my newest vintage mall booth. I have a collection of the vintage Wilton cake tins. And there's a fairly good variety of these available in this area because Wilton is actually based about 20 miles from here. So they come up quite a bit. So I tend to only focus on the oldest ones. This one falls into the middle range. This is 101 Dalmatians. I'm right side up. This one happens to be from the 90s. So it's not as, I usually focus on earlier ones, but I specifically, again, wanted to have some items for my Disney. This is the only Disney one I could find. And this one is from 1996. And I didn't look it up, but I bet that's about when the 101 Dalmatians, the live action one came out, the Glenn Close one. I bet that was probably in the 90s. Or this might be a perennial. Maybe they do 101 Dalmatians all the time. But anyway, it is a Wilton cake pan. It's the dimensional cake pan. You can see there etched right into it the year 1995. So that makes this one is made in Indonesia. So they're an easy one to follow. Like, as things moved around the globe, the later the year, the more likely it ended up. And like the current ones are China, but you can go backwards. It's in great condition. It doesn't have the paper insert, but you can probably tell from the lines, where you're supposed to decorate it. So it is a vintage Wilton cake pan of 101 Dalmatians, and you can have it for $7. $7 for the cake pan. Number 8, $7 for the 101 Dalmatian cake pan. All right. One of the things that I thought was fun as I was trying to pull things together is the fact that, Disney definitely caters to a younger audience, but there are obviously adults that like Disney, adults that go there, on their own with no kids, for honeymoon, for whatever. And so there are actually items that are licensed for Disney and for Mickey that are not child related. And my mouse just went flying across the room. Okay, so one of them is here, and the other one is here, and my mouse is over there. So this is a pair. You've got a Mickey Mouse corkscrew and a Mickey Mouse bottle stopper, and the Huckster handler brought me back my mouse. Thank you very much. So you've got basically barware. And no, my mouse did not break. Shockingly enough, it did not break. So I can still click on people. So no, it did not break. It's going to, one of these days, knock wood, it didn't break. One of these days, something's going to break, because that is not the first time I've done that. But anyway, so this is a pair. It is a cocktailware, barware, the Mickey Mouse corkscrew, and the Mickey Mouse bottle stopper. They're definitely part of a set, I'm assuming, but I will say that you can kind of see side by side, the bottle stopper Mickey head is a little bit smaller than the corkscrew Mickey head, but I think that's just because as you do the corkscrew, you need something fairly meaty to hold on to. So these are the only, I don't know if there are other pieces to it, but these are the two that I have. So you've got these chrome finish bottle corkscrew and bottle stoppers. You can get the pair for $12. $12 for the two pieces of barware by giving me number 28. Number 28, $12 for the two pieces of barware. All right. I was trying to reverse engineer the year on this because I went to Disney World shortly after I was married, and mentally I was thinking, oh yeah, we went there for our honeymoon, but we didn't. So I think we might have gone to Disney World in 94. We were married in 93. And we did a cruise in 93. I want to say we might have gone to Disney in 94. This is a pictorial souvenir guide of Walt Disney World dated 1993. So when I picked this up, I was actually kind of excited about it and a little bit conflicted. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the year we went there for our honeymoon. Well, damn, I'm not married anymore. So like, do I want to look through this? But technically I didn't go until the following year. So it is a souvenir book. Like that's what it is, but it is dated 1993. So you've got great full color pictures of everything that Disney had to offer in 1993. And some things have changed quite a bit. There's a channel that I just discovered on YouTube called Bright Sun Films, I want to say, that they do a series called Abandoned. And it's fascinating. There's all kinds of Disney properties that have been abandoned. There's the old, and it's possibly it would be in here, the old campground watering hole is like the first water park that they ever had. That's abandoned now. Some of their hotel properties that they were building got abandoned when when the recession hit in 2008. Fascinating channel. Just throw that out there. But this is just showing this is what life was like in 1993. So if you want to have a flashback, you want to see what Disney World was at a time capsule for 1993, you can pick it up with this book. It's in great condition. Pages are not dog-eared, folded, torn, or anything. You can have it for $6. $6 for the 1993 pictorial by giving me number 47. 47, $6 for the pictorial. I think I forgot to announce an item. Did we have any takers on the cake pan?
No.
What was number 28?
Bottle stopper.
That was what?
Bottle stopper.
Oh, okay. So that was the last thing with the bottle stopper. So who took that?
The niche lady.
The niche lady comes in again. We got the corkscrew and the bottle stopper. So congratulations for that. All right. Next item is kind of a crossover piece, I'll just say. See if I can get this. I don't know. I didn't test this with the lights. Hopefully it's not too bright. But I have a pair of Disney ears, which I think might have been geared for kids because this is cutting off the circulation of my head. But they are Star Wars Mickey ears. So you've got the Star Wars logo in the front, and you've got these see-through, clear plastic on the Mickey ears. But if you push the button, they light up. And you can still kind of see them. You can see there's colors in there. So you got the shots being fired, and just the galaxy lighting up in white. It is pretty cool. the Huckster handler wants them. So be careful if she tags herself first, and so everyone keep her honest in the chat. So like I said, I can get them on, but they are very tight. So I'm gonna say they're probably geared for kids, but my head's pretty big, so it might be okay. But they're also like pretty far forward on my head. I don't know where you're supposed to wear your Mickey ears, because there's no flexibility from here over because of the way it's built. So just keep that in mind. I can't imagine people are going to be wearing these all over the place. This would look great as a backdrop to a Star Wars. I'd give it to a Star Wars display, much less an actual Disney display. But they're in great condition. The ears are the plastic's not scratched. There's no chips or cuts out of them, and the full form is there. And you still have enough battery life to actually see the light show on both of the ears. So the Star Wars light show ears is $10. $10 for the Mickey ears by giving me number 7. Number 7, Mickey ears for $10. And yes, Dawn, these would look great on everyone's Zoom calls. I think there should be a market for just cool Mickey ears to be able to watch all of those. Everybody were they pop? Oh my, they were a popular item. So okay, well, we're glad I found something people liked. So who gets those? Auntie Christie. So we're going to represent Disneyland. We're sending them back to the land of Disneyland, sending them to California. So congratulations, Auntie Christie, for picking those up. All right, next item I picked up was it was a little sweet little item. It is one of those brass bookmarks. This one happens to be for Tinkerbell. It still has its original Disney Gallery card, and I thought it had a date on it. I want to say it was dated in the 90s, but I don't see it now, so I'm not sure why I think that. But it's got pixies, according to Peter Pan author James M. Barrie, were created when the first laugh of the world's first child burst into countless sparkling beings. Walt Disney brought Pixie Tinkerbell to the movie screen in Peter Pan with a wand, and to television. Why there's a sticker in front of it, I can't read it. I brought Pixie Tinkerbell to the movie screen in 1953, and with wand to television in 1954 as the embodiment of childhood enchantment. So again, it is. Let me maybe get this. Would be good to get the glare off. So it's still mounted on its original piece of paper. So this has never been used. So it's still got the Walt Disney Gallery paper on it, and it is the Tinkerbell bookmark. And you can have the brass Tinkerbell bookmark for $5 by giving me number 23. $5 for the Tinkerbell bookmark. All right. Going into adult beverage land again. This is, again, a piece that I had found that really caters to the adult market. It is a cocktail glass. Pretty much a Collins glass. It's a tall glass. And did we have a taker on the Tinkerbell?
Yeah.
Blue Flamingo Mercantile picks up the Tinkerbell bookmark. So this one, hopefully you can kind of see how much it's reflecting into the glass. And it's only reflecting at the very top because it's got kind of like a mercury glass finish that fades out around here. So the mirror finish that you're seeing is a legitimate mirror finish. This is just like a mercury glass finish all the way up. The Mickey shapes are kind of textured. So it's like almost like a sandpaper feel. So you kind of got a little bit of a glittery Mickey Mouse. It's got the copyright of Disney. So this isn't, again, it's not super old, but even just looking at it, you can tell this is not necessarily a vintage piece. I would see this is probably from maybe the 90s, but more likely 2000s, maybe even later. It's a standalone glass. It's not marked in any other way. I don't see a Libby or any marking on the bottom. So you just get the hidden Mickeys in the single Collins tall glass. And you can have that glass for $6 by giving me number 39. $6 for the hidden Mickey glass. I thought I turned off the volume of my phone, but I did not. So, all right. Do we have any takers? +1 thrifting. We're going to do some drinking in North Carolina. So enjoy that, Heather. Put a fun drink in there. All right. The next item is a vintage Mickey Mouse bath toy. And vintage in the sense that baby Mickey was probably a thing in like the 90s. So I don't think this is much older than that. The mark on the bottom says is Malaysia. So it might be in the 2000s. There's a little bit of age to it, but it's basically a floating bath toy that squeaks. So it's the style. My daughter had bath toys like this, that the squeaker comes through that little hole in the middle. So you can actually, if you squeeze it underwater, when you let go, the water will go into it, and then you can squirt the water out. Did that all the time. What's that? And yes, it could be a good dog toy. So I'm sure I'm driving dogs crazy on my live set right now. All right. Oh, and Heather's going to put sweet tea in the glass. Okay, you're allowed. You're in the South. You can have sweet tea, and you can use Mickey glass for anything. All right. So this is a bath toy, and I'm not sure if Katie is saying that she had a bath toy like this or if she had a cocktail glass like that. So we might be getting too personal if Katie's describing her toilette. But this little bath toy is available. It's in great condition because, again, it's not like super ancient. The rubber is still flexible and there's no chunks or even any missing paints or anything. There's kind of a darker green. It's kind of looking blue on the screen. It's really a dark green there. And then the seal itself is also kind of like more of a sage green. So it's just coming a little weird off the screen. So the vintage Disney toy is $7, and you can have it by giving me number 36. 36, $7 for the vintage Mickey squeaky toy bath toy. All right. The next item is a lot of items, a set of items, you would say, that are a series of pins. So it's a mixed bag. One of them I wanted to make sure I got into the sale because it's somewhat timely. It is the Walt Disney World Halloween. The lights are really weird in this one. So let's see if I can actually figure out what this says. Oh, okay. So this is Walt Disney World. It just says September 1995 or 1996. And it is, I thought it was a Halloween one, but it's really, I guess it's just Mickey in a tuxedo. I thought it was a purple with a spider in the background, but I'm wrong. It's just Mickey playing with a yo-yo, but it is dated September 1995. When I saw the September, I thought that was the start of their not so scary Halloween. But this is just a purple backed button. You've got the Disney Vacation Club button that has Mickey and Minnie on it. You've got the Saratoga Springs button. So that's one of the resorts. So this one's dated 2004. The Disney Vacation Club one doesn't have a year on it. It just says Disney's Vero Beach Resort. You then also have the Jungle Cruise button from Adventureland. And then some of those, some of them are dated a little bit older. I would say the Jungle Cruise one, I don't think that's particularly old. It's got it's got a regular pin back on it. So I don't think that's super old, but maybe getting into the 90s. But the one that I think is old is the Donald Duck. So you've got it's a clasp that does lock over. So it's not just the open C. So it's got the clasp on it. It doesn't have any molded marks or stamps or anything on it. So I don't know its age. It is a little bit older because you can see that the pin back was glued onto it, and the glue is quite, it's changed color quite a bit. So you do have a vintage Donald pin and then a set of these other more contemporary pins, although the one, like I said, is dated from the 90s. You get the entire set of pins for only $6. So $6 for the entire set of pins, that entire lot of 5 pins. $6 for the 5 pins by giving me number 64. 64 for the pins. Did we have a taker on the squeaky toy?
No.
Okay. All right. Moving on to another book. Looks like we might have a taker on the set of pins.
Yeah. The collection vintage?
So the collection vintage, thank you for picking those up, and they'll be on their way to Canada for you. Just watched a couple of your videos today. Collection Vintage did a collaboration with Michelle, Comfy Cozy Living, on fall vignettes. So definitely check out the playlist that Aaron created on the Collection Vintage for those other videos. They're actually really interesting, and I found several new people to follow based on that list. Next book that I've got is kind of a combo book of DuckTales. DuckTales is one of those, I'm not even gonna say it's a guilty pleasure. I admit it openly. When my daughter was little, DuckTales was in its heyday. I loved watching DuckTales with my daughter. There were several shows that I did not like to watch with my daughter. Caillou happened to be one of them. Caillou Needs to Be Shot. But DuckTales, I personally liked Scrooge McDuck, those versions. But pretty much anything over that whole, the Chip and Dale, the adventures, all the different things. But this is DuckTales of Scrooge McDuck. So you've got a combo book with the Masters of the Genie and the Send in the Clones, which if I looked really, really hard, maybe I'd actually recognize both of those. The book is hardcover. It is dated 1989, so it actually goes quite a bit older than my daughter's. Like I said, my daughter was born in 99, so I didn't realize this even was a thing that far back. But you've got the first one is the Masters of the Genie story. I definitely recognize that picture of that genie, so that's definitely what I remember. And then you can see the artwork. It's the traditional. It's a larger format book. It is it's 11 1/4 inches tall. So it's a fairly it's a fairly large book, and actually has some thickness to it because you've basically the two books put together. There is a tiny bit of damage on the corners where they've been kind of pushed in. You can see one of the pages have been folded. So this one's not as pristine as some of the others, but it's a larger format book and it's still in great condition. It would make people very, very happy. So you can have the DuckTales double book for $7 by giving me number 24. $7, number 24 for the DuckTales book. All right. The next items I've got, I'm going to do this as a pair. So these are ceramic mugs. Do we have any takers on the book?
Yeah,
Laura Ann's picked up the book. So congratulations, Laura Ann. All right. So this is a pair. I'm selling it as a pair because they were clearly made at the same time and they're part of the same family. So they are made in Thailand. So they're not the oldest Disney, but they've got both stamped the same way. They both have the same style. So they've got the panels of Winnie the Pooh and of Mickey Mouse all the way around it with a white handle. Winnie the Pooh happens to have a yellow center. Mickey Mouse happens to have a black center. But in general, it's a pair. There were probably others of the same family. These are the only two that I have. So you've got Winnie the Pooh and Mickey Mouse. And so I'm offering them together. They're nice size, perfect condition, ceramic mugs, decent weight. Together, they will definitely be over a pound, but they're not going to be crazily over a pound. Probably, pound and a half maybe between the two of them. Really nice condition. Winnie the Pooh and Mickey Mouse. The pair of mugs is $12. By giving me number 60. $12, number 60 gets you the pair of Winnie and Pooh Bear mugs. All right. Pooh Bear is also going to make an appearance in the next item. This time, though, he is being paired with a rabbit. So we've got Pooh Bear and Rabbit, so staying in his own storyline. This is again, an item stamped as Walt Disney Productions, made in Japan. And this is, I'm going to say it's designed to be a small planter, but you can see based on the bottom of this, this was once used as a pen cup. So you've got a decent height, if you put a pen in there, but it's less than half of the pen fits in. So if you have really tall pens or big pens, I don't think you're going to get a lot of, you'd really have to wedge them in there. So I think it's really perfect for, everyone say it with me, an air plant. So you've got this vintage Japan-made piece with Disney and Rabbit. Somebody has felted the bottom and put the name of the original owner on there. I'm just going to leave that on because the mark is actually on the back. So I doubt there's really anything underneath the felt that's worth seeing because the markings are already there. He's in perfect condition. There's no chips, no cracks, no issues. A little bit of crazing to be aware of. If you were going to use this for a full planter, you want to be careful with how much water is in there. But you can get the vintage planter / pen cup for $10, $10 by giving me number 63. 63, $10 for the Winnie the Pooh and Rabbit pen cup / planter. All right. Another mug that I had found which I thought was a kind of a fun, again, like a time capsule type piece. It is a Disney thermoserve plastic mug. So if you remember these were things, they might have gone back into the 60s, but I remember them in the 70s. They've kind of got the double layer to it, and then the artwork is in the middle, but it's got the thermoserve logo on the bottom. So it's one of the idea of, hot stays hot, cold stays cold, and you've got a Walt Disney World themed mug. So this one is showing, some of the popular scenes from the day. It's not date stamped, so I don't know 100% when this is from, but you've got the horse con trolley from Main Street. You've got the saloon with the train. So that's probably the train that circles the park. You got the racetrack. You've got Magic Mountain. Is that the roller coaster? Is it Magic Mountain? Space Mountain. Thank you. Traditional picture of Mickey and Minnie. You've got the boat. I don't remember the boat. I think that boat went to Tom Sawyer's Island. I'm not sure where that little boat went. Maybe that went to one of the resorts. I don't remember. You've got, looks like something from the Polynesian. And you've got the Pirates of the Caribbean. And you've got the Walt Disney Productions, which pushes this prior to 1985, just not sure exactly when this is available. So you've got the Walt Disney World thermoserve mug. It's showing pretty true colors. It's a brown mug with a brown paperback of all the individual photos. Oh, the safari ride. Okay, that makes more sense. So the thermoserve mug is $6. $6 for the thermoserve mug by giving me number 41. And thank you, Terry Ann, for complimenting my packing. Karen Dondelinger, she's here, will be first to point out that it's not always perfect. I've definitely had claims going to California. But hey, this one shouldn't break because it's plastic. So 41, $6 for the thermoserve Disney World mug. And it looks like we had some takers on that. Collection Vintage gets that one. So we've got company going up to Canada. All right. We're staying in the vintage family. We have the vintage mug, which probably would have been for adults. We also have vintage cutlery, which would have been for kids. So again, you've got the baby Mickey, the baby Donald, baby Daisy, and baby Minnie all on this silverware. It is marked with a copyright of Disney, so this is pushing it past 1985. On the back, it just says stainless, and then it says Taiwan. So we're probably in the 80s/90s for these. Again, I don't remember when the baby Disney characters were a big deal. I don't really remember them from my childhood, but I would say 80s, 90s probably is when they popped up. So you've got a fork and a spoon. The condition is actually really, there's no chunks or no chips or cracks or anything missing. There's a little bit of paint loss as you look at the hearts that are in the middle of the flowers. These were definitely used. So you definitely have some vintage in the sense they were used as well. But it's a cute little pair. It's available for $6. $6 for the matching fork and spoon. And you have that by giving me number 22. Number 22, $6 for the fork and spoon of the Disney babies. All right. Probably going into the same era, if not older. Got another set of mugs. This one is going to set all of your little vintage hearts aflutter because the minute you see them, you will remember them. They are the milk glass pedestal mugs. So you've got Pluto, you've got Donald Duck, you've got Minnie with her handbag, and Mickey. So you've got the very traditional Mickey. So again, this is probably into the 70s or 80s. This is pretty much the Mickey look that I grew up with. They are the milk glass. They are the pedestal mugs. They don't appear to be marked. I take that back. They are marked. I should have looked at this before. Sorry. No, it looks like it's just production numbers. So I can't really tell. It doesn't look like they've got dates on them. It says USA. So they were made in the USA, but I can't tell. I can't make out the rest. So I apologize. But again, you probably recognize these because again, we had these mugs when I was growing up. These are not my mugs from growing up, but it's definitely that look. So you get these set of 4. So again, you've got Mickey and Minnie, Pluto, and Donald Duck. They're all in perfect condition, no chips, no cracks, and they are available as a set of 4, available to you for $25. $25 for the set of 4 mugs by giving me number 59. 59, $25 for the set of 4 milk glass pedestal mugs. All right. Try to make room for everything. Back up, going to go into another book. So this one is a little bit more contemporary, simply because Mulan itself is a little bit more contemporary. But again, I pulled all the children's books, all the Disney-related children books out of my vintage booth. So this is one of them. So this is not a little golden book. This actually has the Mickey or the Disney logo with the Mickey ears up in the corner. This one is, if you watched the deep dive on Little Golden Books, we talked a little bit about how you can tell first editions. Because this is a little bit later, this is dated 98, you can see this not only has the edition numbers of A, B, C, and D, it also has the printing editions of 1, 2, 3, and 4. Because both A and the number 1 are both present, it means this is the first edition, first printing. If the one were missing, you'd see the A, B, C, D, and then 2, 3, 4, it'd be first edition, second printing. So this is a first edition, first printing, but it's only from 1998, so nothing to get super excited about. But it is Mulan. And so definitely a good quality book, good story, great condition, no chips, no tears, no rips. First edition, first printing, available for $5. $5 for the Mulan first edition by giving me number 52. 52, $5. See you, Elderly Poodle. Thanks for joining in. 52, $5 for the Disney Mulan book. All right. I mentioned that I did my daughter's room in vintage Disney. I did not have these, but these were available at the time I did this. Oh, hey, Maria. I didn't realize I was your first live sale purchase, so that's fun. This is a pair of bookends. There was a different style of this that was available that was actually all ceramic, and so we actually grabbed the ceramic one. This one, these are wood, and I guess you can I don't know, you hold it either way, I guess. There's 2 sides to the book. This is probably where the books would go because it's a little bit thicker. You can see there's also a backdrop for it. So there's a front to your bookend, and it has a stuffed Winnie the Pooh in it that again has that vintagey look to it. So he looks a little scruffy. He's brand new. He's never been played. That was just the way they did them. And then you've got a little bit of a graphic on the back that's representing was it the 100-acre wood? 1,000-acre wood, 100-acre wood, I think. So you just got a little bit of a photo laminated onto the back. And then the other one is the Piglet. So the same thing. You've got the thicker side, so this is where the books would go. You've got the backdrop. This one happens to have a little butterfly on it. And then again, you can see he's like kind of fluffy, but even his sweater is fluffy. So it's a new style, or at the time, it was a new style that they were making for the Disney characters to make them look like they were like the vintage Winnie the Pooh. The fact of the matter is they're probably approaching vintage again anyway, because my daughter is now 21. So these themselves are not marked of when they were made, but they were probably made in the 2000s. So these are approaching vintage of their own definition. But regardless, they're in absolutely perfect condition. They are freaking adorable. It's just the Winnie the Pooh, whether you use them as bookends or not, you use them individually or as a pair. And I'm selling them as a pair for $15. So $15 for that's right. That's what they called it too. Classic Pooh and Piglet. I kept calling them vintage, but you're right. So it's 100-acre woods, classic Pooh and Piglet. $15 for the pair. Giving me number 26. $26, $15 for the pair of classic Pooh and Piglet. And did we have any takers of the milk glass mugs?
Yeah. The niche lady, I think, yeah. The niche lady.
Okay, the niche lady picks up the mugs. Excellent.
And then, what do you do after that?
And then the 26, the bookends.
No, you did something.
Oh, did I something between there? Oh, the Mulan book.
Michelle
Number 52 was
Gomez.
Michelle Gomez. Oh, that's might be a new name for me. Okay, thank you, Michelle, for joining. Anyone who claims something tonight at some point, just watch the email address scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Just make sure you send me your shipping, your mailing address, so I can send you an email with your shipping cost and final invoice. Okay, this is, again, moving into probably not like super, super vintage. There was no date or anything on it that I could find. And at first, I didn't know what it was. It's a fairly large plastic tub. And like I've seen people drink from things this large, but this one didn't have any holes. It didn't have a straw, and they're like not a pour spout. So I wasn't sure what it was. The lid comes off. It has a hook on it, and I couldn't figure out what the hook was for. And then I really paid attention to the side. And it's licensed to Walt Disney World for Orville Redenbacher. And so Carrie from Austin got it right before I even showed it. Popcorn bucket. So I guess the idea would be you would buy this at the park. The lid hangs on the handle, and you probably pay like $80 for this thing of popcorn, and you would share it, and 10 minutes later, it'd all be gone. So it's like one of those cases that I doubt this was even sold as its own item. I mean, it probably was just sold when you bought the popcorn because it has the Orville Redenbacher logo to it. It does say 100 Years of Magic. So I should have looked that up. 100 Years of Magic. I can't remember when Disney like technically was founded, like what the 100 years would have been based on. Maybe it's when he was born. And I know I think he was born in the 1800s. So if anyone knows, like what would the 100 years, like what the date of this would be, it doesn't really matter. Again, it's not super old. It might be 10 years old, it might be 20 years old. It's simply a bucket, and the graphics are super cool. That because it's doing the 100 years, what it did is it took all of the black and whites of the Disney stories, Steamboat Willie and all that, then slowly changes them into the contemporary, color scheme and look, to the point where we've got MGM Studios, the Epcot Globe, and all the characters, all the way around the edge, got the Aladdin, everything. So it's just a great representation of a lot of different characters in one location. And it's a popcorn tub, so it's nothing special. So I'm not pricing it as anything special. It's $4. So $4 for the Orville Redenbacher 100 Years of Disney popcorn tub. Number 10. Number 10, $4 for the popcorn tub. All right. Another item. This was another thing that had become popular as when my daughter went to Disney when she was a kid, and it was the idea of collecting pins. And I didn't get rid of any of the pins that we had. We have our own collection of pins. So Chalk Couture is saying that 100 Years of Disney was at 2001. So thank you so much for looking that up. Is the whole idea about pin collecting. So you get these lanyards and you'd have these pins, and the idea was you would trade pins. We didn't really get big into the trading because in some cases we bought really expensive pins, and then our 8-year-old daughter would be like, oh, look, it's pink, and want to trade it for like $1 pin, and be like, wait, no. So this one was part of that. Again, this is not mine. This I've picked up since. So this was an aftermarket. This was part of that trend, though, that you would get the lanyard to put all the pins on, and then you'd have one big piece that held your lanyard in place. And so it's got the little lobster claw clasp at the top, and then the big, Disney piece. So you've got Goofy. Looked like Daisy Duck there for a minute, but that is Donald, Mickey, Minnie, and Pluto. So the decent sized piece. It's 3 inches wide. And at this point, it would be, a backpack attachment, maybe a really big zipper pull. You could attach it to just about anything because I don't think most people are walking around with lanyards. Although, if you're going back to the office, you got a lanyard, you got something cool to put at the end of your lanyard. So it is Disney. It is marked with date of 2005. You've got the Disney set of characters and a lanyard with the lobster claw, or to attach a lanyard. It's $5. $5 for number 48. $5, number 48 for the little lanyard attachment. So we got the history of the bucket, but did anyone buy the bucket?
No.
Okay.
Did we announce the bookends?
I thought we announced the bookends, but number 26, the bookends went to.
Christina, postcards.
Oh, no, I didn't announce that. So 26, the bookends went to Christina, postcards, and something. And Patina. So thank you very much, Christy, for picking that up and buying from me again. And I hope you give the bookends a very good home. All right, this is my last book. Is another Disney book, obviously, because it's Disney themed. It is Eeyore and the Balloon Tree. So this one is the stamp in the upper corner is Disney's Pooh and Friends. Now that was not meaningful to me. So I don't know if that was like a licensing thing that they did. It's on the cover. It's on the title page. Like, I don't know if they created a subgroup that got sold through a certain, through a certain area. It's Grolier Books, and I've heard of the Grolier Press. And this one is dated 1995, but I don't know what the Disney's Pooh and Friends stands for. This one, this one I just realized when I picked it up, it had been in a stack. This one doesn't want to lay, it doesn't want to close properly. So you can see it opens up a little bit. So I'm going to knock $1 off the price because it's not as good in condition as I thought it was. But the book itself is in great condition. If you put it in a bookshelf, you'd never know. You might be able to flatten it out. So it might have been where I had it up against something else. But you can kind of see, even holding it, gravity flat, the book cover does go up a little bit. So a little bit of disclosure for the cover of the book. It's not in great condition. So originally it was $5. It's now going to be $4. I'm going to ask the Huckster handler to update that. So $4, giving me number 12. $4, number 12 for the Eeyore and the Balloon Tree book. Do we have any takers on the pin?
No.
Okay. All right. Next small item I've got is a keychain. This is the Lion King keychain. So this one I would say is vintage to the release of the movie, because on the back it does say Disney, which was because it was after 1985, but it also says it's made in Taiwan. So it is not made in China like any of the new pieces. This is a kind of like a rubberized keychain, so it's flexible, but it's in perfect condition. The tail is still open and attached, so it's got the hole in it, but it's attached. There's still the opening. None of these have split, and the rubber itself has not split in any way. And you've got the traditional keychain at the top. So this was probably, I would say, because it's made in Taiwan, would be consistent with the release of the movie itself. So the Lion King keychain is $4. It'll weigh nothing to ship. And so $4 by giving me number 54. $4, number 54 for the Lion King keychain. Okay, we're back to another piece of 101 Dalmatians. This is a goofy piece that I had picked up when I did, actually this dates back to the first fundraiser I did for the Just One More Dachshund fundraiser. And I mentioned that Dawn is on here, and I mentioned a lot of things that we're going to be doing in October. You might want to mark your calendars for November 12th will be the Just One More Dachshund Rescue fundraiser, jomdr.org. That'll be happening as in place of my regular sale on Thursday the 12th, November 12th. I will be doing a sale that all proceeds will go to Just One More Dachshund Rescue. This was an item that I had put into my Etsy shop back last year when I did the fundraiser for them the first time before I had a live channel, and it probably didn't belong on Etsy. technically it fit the definition of vintage based on its pre-2000, but it's actually a McDonald's snow dome for 101 Dalmatians. It was still in its original packaging. It still has the little to from tag at the top. It's still sealed. It's still got its little cardboard case, and it is the 1996 snow dome for the release of the live action movie. So this was, again, a McDonald's, I'm assuming it's a Happy Meal toy, although pretty big. And I don't know, I guess it's technically, I think it's technically an ornament, but it's a snow globe ornament. And it still comes in its original box. So the 101 Dalmatians snow globe ornament from McDonald's is $5. $5 for the ornament. Give me number 49. 49, $5. I'm seeing some conversation that the chats are being frozen, but then the fact I can see the discussion in the chat, I'm assuming it means it's not frozen. So we're going to open up my... Have you had any, has Huckster Handler had any problems with the chat?
I did for a while, sometimes there's no comments, but I logged out and went on back in.
Okay. Yeah, so in some cases, you guys are just maybe a little quieter than normal, but that's quite all right. It looks like we have a taker for the 101 Dalmatians for Gina Marie. So Gina Marie, congratulations on the 101 Dalmatians. All right, another, this was like a goofy find that I found, but it's one of those cases that you don't see it very often. And so I had to pick it up. I knew I was going to do a Disney sale. And this is just a really weird item. It is a Peter Pan switchblade, but it's, of course, a kid's switchblade. So you've got the Peter Pan logo in it. The knife itself just sticks out and kind of looks like you're going to spread your Peter Pan peanut butter, but it's just a plastic. The knife, it has some images on there from the Lost Boys are on the plastic quote unquote knife. You can see it's rounded on the edge. There's a little bit of a lip there to be able to pull it out. But so it's for kids. So you've got a little knife, and then the other pieces. So I guess it's really like a Swiss Army knife as opposed to a switchblade, because you've got the knife. Then you've got like a little spade or a spoon or something that's coming out from there. And then because we're talking about Peter Pan, you also get the crocodile. So you've got three pieces that come out of the Swiss Army switchblade. So you've got Peter Pan, the knife, the crocodile, and then the like spoon spade type thing. So it is got the Peter Pan logo on the back. I am assuming because of that particular image that this is Disney's Peter Pan, not the Peter Pan peanut butter. It actually, I just realized it says something underneath it. If I can read it, this plastic on plastic, manufactured for, oh, it was manufactured for the McDonald's Corporation. So this must have been a Happy Meal toy at some point too. So I don't know, was Peter Pan ever reissued? I don't think so. Well, anyway, so I don't know if this was a Happy Meal or what it was, but it is just a goofy little Peter Pan. People that love Peter Pan, I pretty much guarantee they probably don't have this. So you've got the Peter Pan, the Swiss Army knife. You can have it for $4. So $4 for the Swiss Army, and Play-Doh would make a lot of sense as well. $4, number 20. $4, number 20 for the Peter Pan Swiss Army knife. All right, and I've got the last item of the regular sale, and then we'll move into the bargain bin. So the last item, I recognize these the minute I saw them. I'm selling them as a pair. Do we have a taker for the Peter Pan? Niche Lady picks up Peter Pan. I knew these the minute I saw them because, again, this didn't exist when I was a kid, but when we took our daughter there a couple times, these were a very big deal. They're the drink cups that you can get on site. So again, for like $87, you would buy one of these drink cups, and you would then be able to take it through any of the resorts. You could take it to the water park. This one is actually promoting one of the water parks. They actually say the Disney parks right on there. I think you might have been able to take them through the park itself, or maybe it was just the hotels. I can't remember, but you basically paid one fixed price for the mug, and then you got free refills every time you went. So you paid a lot for the mug, because technically you could then get soft drink refills, as often as you needed to. So one of them is the water parks theme. So you've got all the different characters all hanging out at the pool that says Disney Parks, Let the Memories Begin. This one has kind of an aqua colored, turquoise colored lid. And then the other one is Donald, Pluto, Mickey, Minnie, and a cow, and Goofy. So you've got some of the main characters on this one. This one also says Disney Parks, but this one is the one that actually says Rapid Fill. So this was the idea that you'd buy these cups. This one is a purple handle and a purple lid. You buy these cups, carry them with you, attach them to put them in your backpack, attach them to your belt, however you did it. I want to say maybe that you couldn't fill them up in the amusement parks, but you could do it at the water parks and then all the hotels. But anyway, I'm selling them for a pair. So the 2 Disney parks, all you can drink refills, you get the pair of them for $6. So $6 for the 2 travel cups. Number 42. They have the little clasp at the top that opens and closes. They actually are good travel mugs as well. Oh, Clarabelle the cow. I never would have come up with that. So thank you, Helen Casey. 2 mugs, number 42, $6. And it looks like we have a taker to that. Blue Flamingo picks up the 2 travel mugs. All right. So that is everything for the regular sale. So if you picked up anything in the regular sale, I appreciate if you send me an email. You have to send me an email if you've never bought from me before. So please just send me an email to the email address running across the bottom of the screen, and give me your shipping address. I will create an invoice that combines the items you're ordering with the shipping cost. Get that to you. I will try and get all invoices out by Saturday night. So if you don't see anything by Sunday, you might want to check your spam folder or poke me, see if something fell behind. But I do this alone. I have a full-time job, and it takes me a while to get all these things out. So watch for those. If there's anything, I'll try and be putting up on my Instagram some of the items that didn't sell. So the Orville Redenbacher bucket didn't sell. The pen holder planter didn't sell. There were a handful of items that didn't. So anyone that came late and might have missed, check out my Instagram and you will be able to see all of the items that were available. Now we are going to jump to the bargain bin. All right, as with every bargain bin, everything in the bin is $2. So $2, so you don't need to worry about what the price is. Everything's going to be the same price. It's just $2. I do have one item that has multiples available. Everything else, there's just the one. So it works the same way as everything else. I'll show it to you. You'll know it's $2. And then I will give you a letter. So these are letters, not numbers, just to make it a little bit simpler. So then you just need to give me the letter, and the first person to claim that letter will get the item. This ended up being kind of a random batch. The bargain bins never match the theme. Sometimes they would do, but in this case, I don't think there's any Disney in here. So I just got some random items that I had picked up through a couple of box lots that I had purchased. This one, I still don't know what it is. My guess is it's one of those plastic covers that you would put onto a skillet or something to keep it from spraying grease. Huckster Handler is looking at me like I'm insane, so she disagrees. No. It does have a hole to hang it, but I think that's just like to hang it out of the way when you're not using it. So it's rubber, like silicone type material. It's got a 3-dimensional set of grapes on the front. It does have the name Charles Viancin, Viancin, but I don't think I found that anywhere. And so we've got a couple skillet cover. That's what I was thinking. We can. Well, it is purple, so depending what you've been eating, the poop on the leaf. You know, if you really like grape juice, you know that's what your toilet bowl looks like. So anyway, it's just a weird little item. I don't know what it is. I couldn't find any other examples of it, so I'm throwing it in for $2. So $2 for the poop on a leaf skillet cover. $2 by giving me letter D. D for the skillet cover. All right. Next item was I got this really cool. Basically, it's a tool box, tool chest, workman's station that had a whole bunch of drawers in it. I'm going to be using it for my shipping station, but the drawers all had stuff in them. So like I bought it thinking, oh my God, this is such cool. And I'm opening the drawers and there's all this stuff in it. I'm thinking, well, those drawers must like sell separately or something. And it turned out that they were selling the entire tool chest with everything inside for the same price. Like, okay. So I came home and I ended up having a couple cool items that I'll just be selling individually. And one of them was just this little box. It's a box that has, most likely it's all wood. Most likely you could tell, and I will show you some of the things that I'm selling. This was a woodworker. So Katie, if you're still on, this is a relative. They had all kinds of tools, all types of, it looks like they dealt with veneers. There was like entire collections of veneer. There were little cutout figures. I'll show you some of those. I want to say probably a tool or a drill piece or something came in this little box. It's an awesome box, and I love these little boxes. But the reason it's in the $2 bin is because although the slide cover does go on, and it does a decent job staying on, as you're putting it in, you can actually see how loose it is. So I don't know if the rail got a little bit, trimmed down or worn down. It's just not a perfectly tight fitting box anymore. So I'm selling it for $2. So $2, it's still a super cool box. It still functions as a box. You just have to kind of like futz with it a little bit. But once it's in there, I'll just push down a little bit. That's why it's $2. So it's not marked in any way to show what it actually would have held. But again, I want to say it was some sort of a tool or something like that, something for woodworking. And there's the little notch in it to slide it out. So I just think it's a cool box. I think people like little boxes like this. So for $2, you can have it by giving me letter X. Letter X, $2 gets you the little box. Did we have any takers on the skillet cover? Poop on the leaf went to Niche Lady. So, okay. So congratulations. And it looks like we had a taker for the wood box. So Gabrielle, are you sure?
Yes. Oh, wait, no, I lied.
Auntie Christie.
I lied, sorry.
Auntie Christie got the box. Several people wanted the box, but Auntie Christie got the first one. Okay. Now, for anyone who's used to watching my channels or my shows or my channel, particularly the sales, you know that I've yet to have a sale that didn't have coasters. Well, I didn't have any Disney themed coasters, so I couldn't put anything in the main sale. So I did my job and I found some coasters to put into the bargain bin. And these are those. So Coaster Guy now has coasters. These are paper coasters. And they're the style of coaster. First of all, the Medina Country Club, which is a Western suburbs country club. So, some people like the country club idea. So maybe they would like them from that. If you're from the Western suburbs, you might recognize the Medina. They're just cool coasters, though. So you can use them as just standard paper coasters, but you can actually see there's a split in them. They are actually designed for stemware. So you would slide this over either side of your wine glass, and so your wine glass would have a built-in coaster. So you've got paper coasters. Most of them are in perfect condition. A couple of them had some stains, which I believe came from storage. I don't think any of these were ever used. They were just wrapped in paper and they were kind of like all scattered. So some of them were in really good condition. Some of them looked like some stuff had rubbed up against it, or it was because of how they were marked or how they were stored. So anyway, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 of them. At least 10 of them are in perfect condition. So this whole set of these paper coasters are available for $2. So $2 for the Medina Country Club paper coasters, $2 for giving me letter J. Letter J for the coasters. All right. One of the things I'm trying to work out in my booths are like what belongs in a booth, what belongs in a live sale, what belongs in Etsy and eBay, etc. And so a couple things have been moved around. This is one of them. This is a Red Wing pottery iris. Basically, it's a salad plate. This is a dinner pattern. But what I liked about it, and the reason I picked it up, even though it was only it's a lone plate, is I don't think this looks like a part of a China pattern. It's, first of all, it's square. It has a very cool all over design to it. That to me, this just becomes a decorative plate, a pin tray, a trinket dish, something anybody could use regardless of whether it matches a China pattern or not. Unfortunately, I was one of the few people that felt that way. So it didn't sell in my booth. And so even though I was selling it in my booth for $3.95, I'm going to sell it in my live sale for $2. So $2 for the Red Wing iris pattern, bearded iris. You can have this plate for giving me letter Q. $2, letter Q for the Red Wing plate. And it looked like we had a taker on the coasters. Yeah. So Michelle Ann? Yeah. Michelle Ann got the coasters. And it looks like we have a taker on the Red Wing plate. Yeah. Stacy Brinkley gets the Red Wing plate. All right. So I mentioned the chest that I had sold before, or I bought and I sold that box out of. This is another item that was in there. So like I said, he did a bunch of stuff, or the individual did a bunch of stuff with veneers, but also had all of these pieces left over that, from what I can tell, was probably trying to make some form of a nativity set. But I just laughed as I was doing all these pieces, because look at this. It's definitely a dude riding a camel, but I'm sorry, to me, it looks like somebody in like the victory stance. It's like the arms over the head, like it's Rocky riding the camel. I have no idea what this person was trying to represent. So yes, praise Jesus, I guess. They hadn't even met the guy yet if he's walking the camel in the nativity. So yes, it was cut on a jigsaw or scroll saw. There are a bunch of these little camel figures with the victory sign on the dude with the victory. But then there's also, there's like a smaller version, which I think he didn't do as well cutting that one. Like that one to me looks like somebody's doing the like that yoga move, and like where you do the bicycle kicks above your head, that they've lied back on back of the camel, and they're like doing the little bicycle kicks above their head, because there's only two. I have no idea like what that one's supposed to be. This one again, we had another one with the victory stance. Like these that were carved, like this is kind of like the reverse imagery. So like, I don't know what the tree was supposed to be, or if that's from like the cutout from from one of the other characters' legs. It seemed like the only thing that's left over were the camels. And so like that camel, that one looks like it actually, I could maybe argue that that's Mary being carried, so, okay, cool. Like, I don't think she rode in on a camel, but like that at least looks like a person not doing the victory chant. And there's like just all these little weird little pieces. Some of them are the actual cutouts. Like this one, truly, like again, this to me looks like a desert oasis. So I'm assuming they were making something to do with the nativity, just because there are like 18 camels in this little set, and there's the little dude doing the victory chant again. This camel, I don't know what he's doing though. Like that, that's just a weird looking camel. We're just going to leave it at that. I'm sure you guys can come up with your own definition. Maybe it's a donkey. You're being very kind as a fellow woodworker. But Gina Marie, do you carry frankincense over your head? So I like the idea of these are Star Wars characters more than anything else. So anyway, again, this is the bargain bin. So you guys all know this entire bag of these little wood chips, it's $2. So like you could try and make your own little character. You could make your own as, I think I said Bethlehem. So it should be, I guess it'd be Jerusalem. No, if it's a nativity, it'd be Bethlehem. Oh my God, let's show how little I read the Bible. Anyway, we've got Rocky on a camel is basically what I'm offering. And you can have Rocky on his camels, the entire bag of all these little wood pieces for $2 for Give Me Letter P. Letter P, $2 for the little bag of wooden stuff. All right. If you watched one of my live sales, no, this wasn't a live sale. This was from a haul video. Looks like we have a taker for the Rocky on his camel. That was Michelle Ann. All right. I did a haul video that talked about the fact that I had received picked up two of these bridge sets. And when I had done the video, I had not checked. The bridge sets themselves have the two decks of cards in them. They were identical sets. They both had the bridge scorecard, which both cases it was not filled in. And then they each had a pink set of cards and like a yellowish orange set of cards. What I had not checked at that time was whether they were complete. I have now done that, and unfortunately, this ended up being an incomplete set. So I have one bridge set, which has a fuller scorecard, a full set of yellow, and a full set of pink with the two jokers in both. Those are in my booth at my antique mall. This I'm moving into the $2 bin because what you're basically buying is the holder. So you've got this little plastic case that sits in the box that holds the score pad and then the two decks of cards. Score pad is still here, and it's what's left is unused, but several of the sheets have already been taken out. The yellow, which is rubber banded together, that is actually a complete set. So you do have a complete set of cards, but no jokers. So you get the 52 cards, but you don't get any jokers. And then the pink, unfortunately, is not a finished set. So nothing I can do about it. The only thing it would be is I'd like watch for the end of time, try and find like the 4 missing cards from this deck. That ain't gonna happen. So, if you're a reseller, suddenly you've got gift tag hangers, whatever you want to do. This entire thing's $2. So you get the scorecard, which should be worth $2 by itself. I just asked Melody. $2. You've got the deck of cards that even though it's open, it is counted. Even without the jokers, the deck of cards should be worth $2. And then you've got the card toppers. This entire thing is $2, and it's available for letter K. So the incomplete bridge set, letter K, $2. All right. Another item that I picked up that I was not 100% sure what it was supposed to be, but I'm making a guess that it's an old meadow gold milk jar, milk jug, milk bottle that has been done in the size of a toothpick holder. So again, this is only a couple inches tall and only 1 1/4 inches diameter across the top. There are some marks on the bottom that I could not decipher. Like to me, that middle one looks like a pretzel. So I don't know this type of glass very well. So it is molded. There is a seam you can see running up both sides. So this was a promotional piece for Meadow Gold, which I think is a milk company. And they're just making these little milk bottles as, I'm assuming, toothpick holders. So you can have a toothpick holder with the Meadow Gold logo on it for $2 because it's from the bargain bin. $2, Meadow Gold, toothpick holder for your letter U. Toothpick holder, letter U, $2. And it looks like the bridge set went to Karen Dundlinger. So congratulations, Karen, for picking that up. And as Melody said, so worth $2. All right. For those of you who've joined my sales in the past, this was an item that I sold as part of the original sale. Had high hopes for it, didn't sell because really who wants to look like a Hare Krishna? So this is a shell necklace with a big A medallion hanging from the bottom of it. It's if Vinny was here, he could have completed his Donny Osmond look. Hey, it's boho by all definitions, but not everyone likes this type of boho. So I didn't know what to do with it. I'm not doing a lot of jewelry. So I'm selling it for $2 as part of the bargain bin, $2 for the giant shell necklace with the medallion of shells at the bottom. Oh yes, I'm sorry, I need to model it. So there we go. Yeah. Oh, well, hey, maybe I won't sell this. I'll wear this to work tomorrow. So we've got the shell necklace, $2, available in the bargain bin for $2 by giving me letter W. Letter W, $2 for the shell necklace. All right. Another sale that I did more recently than that one, I had done a sewing sale. One of the pieces that I had been kind of a combination of a bunch of pin cushions and thread, maybe thread catchers. That there wasn't a lot of interest in them. So I donated the rest of them to Goodwill, and the only one I've got left is the traditional tomato. So you've got the vintage tomato pin cushion, even comes with one pin in it. It's $2. $2 for the tomato pin cushion, lightweight, letter N. Letter N, $2 for the pin cushion. And it looks like did the necklace, what's that?
Last two.
Okay, the necklace went to, W went to Stacy Brinkley, and the toothpick holder went to, say it again? Auntie Christie. So congratulations for picking both of those up. And looks like N also is going out to Gabrielle White. So congratulations for picking that up. All right, next item is another piece of glass. This is, had once upon a time been in my own personal salt cellar collection, but I've kind of upgraded a lot of the salt cellars to go into more figural and decorative pieces. This one is a clear glass barrel-shaped salt cellar. I do not have a spoon that goes with this. I'm keeping the spoon, but it's got the star cut into the bottom. It's pressed glass, and it's just a simple salt cellar, simple clear glass, but with a slightly more interesting shape than some of this style, some of the glass salt cellars typically go to. So salt cellar, $2, coming out of the bargain bin. $2 for the salt cellar by giving me a letter G. Letter G, $2 for the salt cellar. All right. Before I go to the last, I got 2 items left. I mentioned that I had one thing that I have more than one of. So this is going to be a test. I don't have Nate to help me out tonight, so I got the Huckster handler is going to have to deal with it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 copies of vintage Popular Mechanics and Popular Electronics. So we've got Popular Electronics for 35 cents from 1965. Mechanics Illustrated from 1968, Popular Science from 1968, Popular Science from 1967, Popular Science from 1954, Popular Mechanics from 1970, Popular Science from April of something. It's got a war issue, so I'm thinking like late 40s, maybe 50s. Popular Science also has a war issue, Why Japan Will Lose on Land. So this is actually from the middle of the war. Popular Science, How U.S. Soldiers Invade from the Sea. So we've got another war-related one. And a Popular Science from 1969. So for those of you who have been with my bargain bin before, you know that the way these work is they're a grab bag. I will show you the letter. The first 10 people who put that letter into the chat will receive at random one of these. So you know exactly what's available. Some of them are in slightly better condition than others. Some are older than others. They're all worth more than $2. So the idea behind this would be you're just going to get it like a little snapshot of history. I got to get these at a pretty decent price. So I'm passing them on to you guys, $2 each. You'll get randomly whatever, as I ship them, you'll get the one that's on top. If you want more than one, you just need to put that letter in more than once. Sometimes I let you do multiples at the same time. There's only 10. So if you want 3 of them, you need to put the letter in, hit enter, put the letter in again, hit enter, and the Huckster handler will be grabbing the names in the order that they're in the chat. So the first 10 that claim one of the magazines for $2, so they're $2 each, with this letter, S. S gets you one copy of one of these Popular Mechanics, Popular Science magazines from the 40s, 50s, and 60s. And the last item I have, which is basically serving as the bargain bin today, is an old tote bag. So I don't know how old the tote bag is, but the tote bag is designed with a Harper's Bazaar cover image from 1932. The tote bag is not from 1932. The tote bag was actually picked up at an estate sale. It was a long story. I didn't have any of my own packing materials. They didn't have anything available, and they had a great racket going on. You had to buy tote bags in order to take stuff out of their estate sale. So this is what I bought. So it's a cool bag. I couldn't really tell the age on it. Again, it's not super old. It does not have any clasp or closure or zipper or anything. It's really just a simple tote bag, although there's a little bit of a gusset on the bottom, so it does expand a little bit. It's in really nice condition. The handles are like vinyl, and they're actually in really good condition. They're not cracked. They're not split. You know, it's really nice. There might be a couple places you want to spot wash on the outside. But again, it's $2. You know, the bargain bin is now being sold in the bargain bin. So it's $2 for the Harper's Bazaar bag. Happy to pass it on. It's not vintage, so I can't really do much more with it. Hopefully one of you will like the bag, and it's kind of cool. So Harper's Bazaar tote bag can be yours for $2 by giving me letter Z. Z for the Harper's Bazaar tote bag. Oh, and I'm sorry, it says Estee Lauder. So it must have been at one point, it must have been a gift with purchase or something like that from Estee Lauder. I didn't see that. That's on the handle. So Z is the tote bag. Okay. Did we have any takers on the magazines? All right. I'm going to do them in the order I have, and then Huckster handler will correct me. So in the order that I see them, sometimes the chat in StreamYard is different from YouTube, so forgive me if I'm wrong. But I've got Empty Nesting 2, yep. Laura Ann, yep. Michelle Ann, yep. Empty Nesting 2 again, yep. Auntie Christy, yep. Michelle Ann again. Auntie Christy again. How many does that put us at?
That's 7.
7.
2 more.
Plus 1 thrifting.
Yeah.
And Laura Ann.
Yeah.
All right. And then for the Z is the tote bag that went to Karen Dondelinger. All right. And that is my evening. So thank you very much for everyone for joining me. Again, if this was the first time you've purchased from me, please make sure you send me an email with your shipping information. Even though I can see you in this chat, I have no way to reach out to you or figure out who you are. So if you don't connect to me, I have a very difficult time connecting to you. So if you've never bought from me, send an email to thmvintage@gmail.com. And I will get invoices out. My goal is always by the end of the day on Saturday. Sometimes end of day is 2 o'clock in the morning, so bear with me. If by Sunday you don't have it, check your spam or hit me up. Something may have happened, but I will try and get everything out so that I can start shipping as early as Saturday, and definitely start shipping by Monday. So thanks everyone for joining the sale. Next week is, believe it or not, October. I'm a little shocked. So October 1st will be the first of the 5 live sales that I do as a group. So mark your calendars for next Thursday. Hopefully you want to attend anyway, but as special incitement, the live sale guests for next Thursday, I am super excited to announce we are going to have Nicole Northgarden is going to be in our group sale, as well as Fatbird Finds. So absolutely fantastic, even if it was just them. But then to top it off, Laura Bemos from Bemos Mercantile will be doing her first live sale ever, and it will be with Nicole Northgarden and Fatbird Finds. So super excited. That'll be the first group sale that we end up having in January. What am I saying? January. In October. So there'll be a total of 5 of them, but that's the first announcement. But before that, don't miss, as Katie from Bitches and Vinyl is reminding me, I do 2 deep dives a month, and the deep dive that's coming up next is this coming Sunday, and that is with Katie from Vintage Vinyl discussing vintage vinyl. So we all see it in thrift stores. We all see it, online. We hear Katie talk about it all the time. Katie uses terms I have no idea what she's talking about. So I asked her to do this deep dive to educate us, to know what to look for if we want to resell it or if we want to collect it, and just to understand how the vintage vinyl industry has developed. And she was my very first deep dive. She did our first deep dive, my first deep dive total was with her on vintage typewriter ribbon tins. And I'm not kidding when I say that that's probably one of the best interviews in the collection. So if you haven't checked that out, go back into my playlist. It's the oldest one in there, but she's going to do a great job on vintage vinyl. So I hope you all come back this coming Sunday for a deep dive on vintage vinyl. And then next Thursday, we will have the live sale. And then also Thursday happens to be the first. So as I mentioned before, I'm doing a collaboration, Vintage Firsts. Create your video before October 1st and put it into the playlist to go live at 1 p.m. Eastern time on October 1st. And have as many, hopefully we have a lot of you participating. We'll have a great series of videos and or posts on Instagram for Vintage Firsts. So again, thank you very much. Michelle Ann is asking what time. The deep dive is going to be pretty much everything I do is 8 p.m. Eastern. So the deep dive on Sunday will be at 8 p.m. Eastern with Katie. And yes, Katie just answered that question as well. So thank you very much again, everyone, for joining me. Hope you had some fun. Send me your emails. I will send you out invoices and catch me again next week. Talk to you later. Thanks for putting your trust in Trusty Huckster. Bye-bye.